For number 13, we have a group of 180 sixth graders that was given the option to play 3 sports: soccer, kickball, and basketball. And then we have information here on the number of students that played soccer, basketball, combination of both soccer and kickball, and so on and so forth. We want to find out how many played only one sport and then how many chose to not play any of the sports. So to better organize our information, we're going to use a Venn diagram, and I'm going to label in my universal set. I'm going to have 3 different sets here, one that represents those who played soccer, a circle representing those who played kickball, and then a circle that would represent those playing basketball. When we go to begin putting numbers into our Venn diagram, the first thing you're going to want to look for is the intersection of all 3. And the information given, we've got 12 that played all 3 sports. So we're going to first place in the middle of our diagram the intersection of all 3 of those sports would be 12. And then the next place you're going to want to go is to find the intersection between 2 sets at the time. So we're going to first look at the intersection between the soccer and kickball, and you'll notice that if I intersected just those 2 circles, this is the area that would represent the intersection of those who played soccer and those who played kickball. So let's go to our back to our problem and see how many students played both soccer and kickball. And you notice that we have 29 students total who played both soccer and kickball. We've already accounted for 12 of those, so that leaves 17 that we had not yet placed into our diagram. So you see that the intersection now between soccer and kickball is a total of 29. We're going to do the same thing for the next two sets. Let's look at the number of students who played both kickball and basketball. So the intersection between those, the total should fall in this area. And if we look at kickball and basketball, we have a total of 32 that played kickball and basketball. On my diagram, I've already accounted for 12 of those. So we need an additional 20. So that 20 plus the 12 would give me the 32 total that played both. Now I'll move on to soccer and basketball. In my problem, I have 43 who played soccer and basketball. Right now I have in that intersection part a total of 12 that have been accounted for. I need an additional 31, so that 31 plus 12 would give me the 43 that played both soccer and basketball. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is fill in these highlighted areas. So notice that we want to complete the set of students who played soccer. So if we look right now, we've got 17 plus 12 plus 31, which gives me 60. But I know that those who played soccer, there was a total of 85. So 85 minus the 60 that were in these other 3 regions is going to give me 25 left to fill in the total of soccer players. Okay, let's next go to the final kickball region. Right now we have 17 plus 12 plus 20, which is 49. And in my problem, it says that I have a total of 72 that played kickball. That actually should be inserted in between those, and it is on your review sheet. If we have a total of 72 that played kickball, I have 49 that are already in that circle. So 72 minus the 49 would give me 23. So that final region of those playing kickball would be a total of 23. And then finally, we want to finish up the region of all the students playing basketball. Right now we have 31 plus 12 plus 20, which is 63 total. And then the total number of students who played basketball was 73. So 73 minus 63 leaves me with 10 more that are in that region of students who played only basketball. Now, before we go on to answer our questions, let's finish our Venn diagram with students who maybe did not fall into any of those categories. Because from the beginning of the problem, we saw that 186 graders, that group was given the option of playing. So if I have 180 total students, I'm going to subtract the sum of all of these numbers that I've already placed into my diagram. So when I add all of those up, I get a total of 138. So we should have 42 students who are in that in the survey, so they fall into the set, the universal set, but they're not in one of those regions. Okay, now we can go on to answer the questions. The first one said, how many played only one sport? Now the areas or the regions here that represent only one sport would be ones that you don't see intersecting with other regions. So I have 25 students who only played soccer. These others played 2 sports or 3 sports. I have 23 that only played kickball. And then I have 10 that only played basketball. So if I take 25 plus 23 plus 10, I'm going to end up with 58 students who played only one sport. And then the second question asks, how many chose not to play any of these sports? And when we got our number of 42 who didn't fall into any of those categories, that would be the number of students who didn't play any of the sports. So we would get 58 for part A, 42 students didn't play any of the sports would be your answer for part B.